Hey, welcome to Flute. I'm now going to take a second look at this new to me Lakespirit flute from Werner John. I wanted to clear up a little bit of misinformation on the last video. Did put some corrections in the text blocks of that video, but I wanted to give some playing samples and a little bit better explanation on a few things about a couple of notes. So the first one was I said you could not get the low semitone, what I would call B flat, because I refer to Native American style flutes as if they were in the key of A. And I want to show, if I can, this bottom hole. If you see that little notch out there, that is there to facilitate getting that B flat note. So it's still a little bit tricky. It's easier for me to kind of bend down from what I would call the B note. You can also kind of just slide up from the fundamental with a little bit of practice, but just that little bit of notch out kind of helps to get that note, which is all but unplayable on most of my flutes. Okay, so that's the low end, and that, as we showed last time, lets you go completely chromatic, and we'll get to the upper octave notes, but just for the lower octave, it goes like this. And I'm trying to watch my tuner just to make sure I'm getting the correct intonation. But all those kind of normal fingerings for the first octave. All right, now I was really fumbling around with the upper octave last time. And from a couple email conversations with Werner, he said that all of his flutes ship with a customized fingering chart, because particularly in the upper octave, they will vary a little bit. And since I got this pre-owned, I did not have that customized chart. So I've gone through and figured out some fingerings that seem to work best for my particular flute. Maybe different on yours if you happen to get one. All right, so first off, we have an alternate for the octave note. And I'll give you, show the fingering chart that I'm looking at here. So an alternate to that octave A and that can be useful going to some of the other notes in the upper octave. B flat seems like this works best for me. So there's a couple of options there. The fingering that that Werner gives is kind of 4 fingers, and that works. You can also just drop and do 3 fingers for a little bit softer version. So that's the B flat note. B is kind of interesting. I can get that. I guess this would really be normally the mode 4 note in the lower octave. So it would be the octave note in the lower octave, but if you give it a little more pressure, it jumps up to what I would call the B note. Same fingering, but I'm getting a different harmonic there. So instead of A, push it a little bit harder and it jumps up a semitone or a whole tone. Which I don't know how that works. It's obviously not a typical harmonic, but there you go. The middle finger also works for a little bit louder version. So a couple alternates for the B note. C is a little bit odd. The kind of typical fingerings that I'm finding on other normal 6-hole flutes did not work. So this is kind of the first fingering where you need to lose the thumb hole. And it kind of goes like that. And then C sharp. So those two notes work well together. So if you just have the kind of the fork fingering there on the bottom hand and throw in the other two fingers. So that's pretty cool. All right, and then in the way upper stratosphere here, so Werner gives this fingering for a high E note, and these are all with kind of just cracking the thumb hole. No, that's not it. There it is. Can also get that just by overblowing what would be the C in the lower octave. But just by cracking the thumb hole and giving some extra pressure, jumps up to E in the upper octave. And then the pinky hole there is just kind of Werner's alternate. I guess would give you a little bit louder version of it. Really doesn't seem to matter either way on my flute. All right, so that's E. Also discovered a couple of notes that are not on Werner's chart, but I can actually get an F and an F sharp. So kind of from that E like this. Take that finger off and you jump up to an F. And then you can even, from there, drop another finger. Give it a big blast there and get all the way up to an F sharp. So that is really cool. So I can get in my notation all the way from an A flat all the way up to almost an octave and a half to an F sharp. So yeah, lots of range on this. Unfortunately, I've not been able to find any alternates to get either a D or a D sharp in the upper octave. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but you know, that's just kind of magic of the design. You know, you always get trade-offs with flute designs. So the fact that you get all your normal lower octave fingerings for Native American style flute, that's kind of the trade-off. You don't get those extra notes, those two particular extra notes in the upper octave. So that gives you lots of alternatives, not lots of possibilities. So we won't try and do anything extra today. Have to see if we can work those into a good playing sample. a musical playing sample a bit later. So that's all. Thanks for watching.